Today we're counting down the top 5 signature spells to come out of the Lord of the Rings set and the Lord of the Rings commander decks. And if you don't know what a signature spell is, in the Oathbreaker format we get an instant or sorcery in the command zone that we can cast as long as we control our Oathbreaker Planeswalker. And obviously having an instant or sorcery in the command zone can be very powerful. Before we get to the top 5, I've got an honorable mention. Lost to Legend is an instant for white. Put target non-land historic permanent onto its owner's library, fourth from the top. This card is not an especially exciting signature spell, and it's not all that great in multiplayer because it just targets one thing. However, it can get rid of an opponent's planeswalker for just 2 mana at instant speed and mono white. And that actually sounds pretty good. Number 5, Rise of the Witch Queen, a sorcery for 2 black-green. Each player sacrifices a creature. If you sacrificed a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And using this as signature spell, we really do want to get use out of that second half. I can see this pairing well with a planeswalker that mills stuff into our graveyard, or one that makes creature tokens that we can sacrifice and hopefully get something better back. Number 4, Galadrim Ambush, an instant for 3 and a green. Create X 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn by non-elf creatures. Obviously we only want this in an elf deck, however elves are the most supported tribe in Oathbreaker. We have 3 different planeswalkers that care about elves. And although I like this spell, I do think it loses a lot from being in the command zone where everybody can see it coming. I think this one's at its best in a 1v1 Oathbreaker game, because then your opponent can't split up their attack between multiple of their opponents. Number 3, Sorceress Squall, a sorcery for 6 blue. That's a total of 9 mana, but it does have Delve, so each card you exile from your graveyard while casting the spell pays for 1. Target opponent mills 9 cards. Then you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. And as a note, you can actually delve away the commander tax if you're going to be casting this multiple times in a game. This card would be an interesting option for a mill deck, but it would really have to be a mill deck that mills all players, including you, because we need to fuel that delve. We really need this to get down to 3 mana, or it's really not good. One of the things I like about this card is it shores up one of the weaknesses of some mill decks that focus so hard on the milling that they're not really affecting the board state. This one at least can cast an instant or sorcery from an opponent's graveyard. Hopefully you can hit a board wipe or a kill spell or something useful here. That would buy you some time to mill them more and hopefully finish them off with mill. Number 2, the Battle of Bywater, a sorcery for 1 white. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater, then create a food token for each creature you control. This is a really awesome choice for a token deck, for a little 1/1 or 2/2 power token deck. It's not a true board wipe, but it's only 3 mana, and it doesn't destroy anything of yours if you built your deck correctly. And the food thing is just a bonus. You know, there's not a lot of food synergies in Oathbreaker, but you can just crack them when you have nothing better to do or when you really need the life. In a way, food is probably better in Oathbreaker than it is in Commander, because we have half the life that we do in Commander. Anyways, I love this one. It's a great card. Number 1, Taunt from the Rampart, a sorcery for 3 red-white. Goad all creatures your opponents control. Until your next turn, those creatures can't block. Now, Disrupt Decorum has always been one of my favorite cards, and one I've used as signature spell before. But a lot of the creatures that are forced to attack don't actually hit your opponents, because they get blocked and sometimes the blockers die so they don't have to attack. But this one is so much better. It's so much more of a finisher. Their creatures can't block, so they're just going to be taking it on the chin. And they can't block your creatures either. In a way, they can't block your creatures for 2 turns, the turn you cast this, and they'll all be tapped after they attack, so on your following turn you can attack them again. And they can't attack planeswalkers either. That's built into Goad. They must attack a player other than you. This card actually feels a bit like a lower mana cost Insurrection. So good, so fun. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching the video. If you want to see more Oathbreaker content like this, hit that subscribe button. And here's a couple more videos I think you might like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.